Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Belle Collective Season 1, the reunion, Part 2, the conclusion. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. We pick up right where we left off, where Marie continues to say, hey, we have receipts in a recorded conversation of Kaylin and one other person talking to this blogger about certain information that they know, just going in. Kaylin finally admits to connecting with the blogger to get information and confirm what she so-called already knew about Marie. She says that I told Antoinette, and then Antoinette told Latrice that I was going to speak with this particular blogger. Antoinette says I told her that it was a bad idea, don't do it, don't get involved. And I told the same thing to Latrice. Latrice says that she also told Tisha that Glenn is supposed to have a baby with someone else that he had with an affair, and that it was confirmed that there is a baby. And at this point, Marie falls out like, oh my God. And she continues to say, yeah, like Tisha explains that 2 or 3 days later, the information was in the blog. And then Tisha confirms that Latrice says that it's not me, it's Kaylin. And then Kaylin, while she's sitting on the couch, she gives Latrice this look like, girl, you wasn't supposed to say nothing. And Tisha confirms that then Latrice clicked over so it would allow her to hear the conversation and what they were saying about everything, about the situation with Glenn and some other stuff about Marie. So they have the receipts. Kaylin then says she feels that it was messed up about what they said about Tisha and the whole baby situation, but not Marie, because Marie is stealing federal money. And Marie says, thank you. Thank you for saying that on TV. And it's false information on the blogs, and that's what I need for defamation. Marie continues on to say that I have had a business for over 20 years. Why would the feds give me a pass? Why would they spare me? And Egypt says, just to clarify, are you stealing anything? And do you have a criminal record? Marie says, no, I don't. I offer government assistance, they provide, and they honor all of our medical files and all of our medical practices. So it's slander that they're even doing this, and no one can stop what God has planned for me. So I'm covered. So I'm an open book. There's nothing on my end that I'm trying to hide or anything. And Kaylin says, well, I did it to use it as ammunition just in case Marie would come for me. And Tambra says, you know what, this is all shocking. You know, I was defending Kaylin. We were even there for her in her time of need when she felt a certain type of way. And now that I'm hearing all of this stuff about Kaylin, you know, I don't have any pity for her. And I actually it's really disappointing. And I think Kaylin was wrong. You went to that extent to break someone down. I just don't sympathize with you at all. Egypt says, you know, you were using that as ammunition, right, Kaylin? You're saying that you wanted this information because you thought that, you know, Marie was going to come for you. So can we just put that to bed? Can we move on? And Kaylin says, yeah, we can move on. Antoinette says, you know what, do you sincerely think that I would reach out to a blogger to destroy your business? And Marie says, I don't know. I'm going off of receipts and things said. And Egypt says, well, we don't have receipts on Antoinette, so it's clear that everything has been aired out and we know who did what and to whom. And Egypt says, Kaylin, you know, thank you for coming. And now it is time to bring out the men in all of these ladies' lives. We have Cedric, Glenn, and Cliff. We start with Marie, and we backtrack the issues that she's had with certain men in her life, more specifically Cedric and her son Jerez. We see the clips of how Cedric is upset and he's barely at the home with Marie. He's not answering her calls. Clips of Cedric saying that he feels like Marie and Essie are in a marriage. We see clips of her son and having the static with Marie and trying to get him to be more responsible with his baby's mothers and being there for his children, in part of being away at school, not being able to be present as much as he should. We speak with Cedric And he explains that he really couldn't discipline or kind of quote unquote be hard on with tough love with Jerez because he's not his biological dad. But Jerez's biological dad is in his life. So it was really hard for him to have those deep conversations with him because he's not his biological dad, and feels that their situation was just kind of just odd because there's really nothing that he could do to just kind of give him the discipline that somebody would think that he had or the authority that they thought they had. Marie also explains to everyone that they were married, divorced, and then with the plans and hopes of getting married again and building their relationship. So to categorize it, their relationship is just complicated. Egypt does bring up the situations and wanting to know, hey, what's up with the disappearing acts? Because throughout the season, you're not there. You're always missing. You're not answering calls. Like, what's going on in your life? What's going on? And he says, well, with the whole trip thing, my trip was planned a year in advance. And Marie, when she declined to come on this trip, I invited Dr. Chris. And he continues to explain that this is a friend that I know. And of course, Egypt has to ask, like, so you don't see, how there could be a question mark in the air that you went to Aruba or wherever that you went to another country with another man for an extended period of time. Do you see how that kind of would, raise up some flags and wondering, how you're so comfortable with that? And he says that he's just a friend and, she knew about it. So it's really not a big deal. But Marie wants to get into the conversation of 2016, when she fell ill, that he wasn't there for her. They were this married couple and he didn't have that presence in her life. And she was under the impression that this is my husband and he should be nursing me back to health. Well, where were you? And be honest. But instead of answering the question, he deflects the question over and over again by going into this monologue of, I just want to take a moment to say, Marie, your growth is amazing. In spite of your challenges, your illness, everything that you're going through, you still made it as a wonderful businesswoman. And Egypt says, so you're going to answer the question, because you still haven't answered the question yet. And she tries to press on with answering the question, but he just does not. He just keeps deflecting and he keeps deflecting. But he does say that, Marie, I still love you and you moved on. And Egypt says, well, Marie, you're not single anymore. You're dating someone else. So what does that mean? And Marie explains that, I'm getting to know someone else and we're just in this process. It's just complicated. We're trying to work things out. And she wants to know, are you considering getting back together, you two? Because it seems like, there's still some connection and love. And he unfortunately deflects the question even more. She then gets to the pressing question of, do you feel that Essie and Marie had something more? He feels that Marie and Essie had a bond before he even came into the picture. And he feels that it's something that he just couldn't come in between. And Egypt says, well, it's a perfect opportunity to bring Essie out and she can answer some of these questions herself. He says that I'm just going to go ahead and sit over here. I'm not even going to be near Essie and I'll just be out the way. And, of course, Maria's just like, okay, you being extra. It's not that serious. Essie sits down. Egypt welcomes her to the show, wants her to get comfortable. Essie does say hello to everyone, and everyone looks so pretty, and everybody has cleaned up well. Cedric says, when we got married, I knew my place. Their bond was so strong. There was no room for me to have intimacy or growth or relationship with Marie. And Essie says to him that you were away. And that allowed me to become closer to my friend in her time of need because you were never present. And Egypt says, would you have a problem with Letitia if she got close to someone? And she's directing this question to Glenn. And Glenn is saying, well, I wouldn't have any problem with that if, she had a relationship that was just a business partner relationship because I have certain needs. And Egypt says, do you have a deeper feeling than business partner? And she's addressing this question to Essie. And Essie says, well, of course I do. And of course, Egypt wants her to be more specific. And she's saying that I'm closer. I mean, like a sisterhood, nothing more than that. I said that she was my soulmate, but I meant because we understand each other. We just get each other. And now we speak with Cliff. And Egypt asked Cliff the thoughts on that and having a friend that's a business partner. And Cliff says a woman has to choose her husband over all friendships. There can't be any question that who she's connected with more is her husband. Egypt said, what's your sexuality? It's been brought up on social media. People want to know. People are questioning. And Cedric says that I'm not interested in men at all. I love women. And Egypt says to the camera, okay, he's answered it. Now we can let it go. We then move on to Letitia. We see the flashbacks of her goals with Ferris Street and her having an emotional connection with this endeavor because her grandfather used to always talk about how Ferris Street was prospering with Black business and togetherness. And there was so many things that she wanted to do and develop and share the information in developing this area. Unfortunately, due to some situations at brunches, there was this negative wave of people not wanting to be supportive. So she kind of hit that bump in the road. We also go back to the clips of Glenn asking these certain needs and putting information in contracts. And of course, that rubbed her the wrong way. But he eventually goes on later on in the season, making a cute little prank regarding contract, saying how he needs 100%. It's a little cliffhanger, and he says 100% of her love. And a new ring symbolizing that a new wedding, another ring will be the symbolism of them starting over, and everything that was done in the past is in the past. Fortunately, since the show has aired, she's had offers from across the world via social media of people who are really interested and they really want to invest in Ferris Street. So it's something that's positive that came out of it. Even though there was a lot of negative feedback for brunches and people hesitating to contribute, she has had people from across the world who are very interested and want to know what they can do moving forward. Glenn says, he struggled with the role changes because Tisha for the longest time was the housewife. He would leave, go to work, and then come back, and she would wait on him hand and foot. So this evolution of her being an entrepreneur and not having as much time, he didn't know how to deal with it. And Letitia says, with this new baby, there is a new, baby that's confirmed it was from an affair, but I just feel I don't want to end over 17 years based upon something that happened, because if anything, let's just say there's not a marriage, I've got to have his friendship, because this is something that I need in my life. And Egypt says, that was very beautiful. And Cedric says, that ish was beautiful though. And everyone cracks up because it was a very sincere moment. And for Cedric to say that, it just kind of gave everybody a laugh. And then the way he said it, and everybody saying, Cedric is like the exclamation point of all comments. And they just take a minute to just laugh. Then we get to Latrice and Cliff. They discuss how Cliff is 20 years her senior. And they want to clarify that they've been together for 10 years, but married 5 of those years. We also learned that Cliff has an ex-wife and he has 4 children from previous marriage. And people want to know, did Cliff fund Goddess Lentz? He clarifies that he had no parts in the development of Goddess Lentz, and that endeavor is 100% all Latrice, and that he's there for her emotionally or financially in the future if she should need him. We also learned that, do they have any ideas or any plans about a baby soon? A little Cliffarella. And they said that it's something that they've talked about, if they're thinking about. But Cliff says, we have a 16-year-old, my 16-year-old, that actually lives with them now. And Latrice says, but of course I want a daughter of my own. And it's something that we notice is just they kind of brush over, and they don't really get into depths with talking about, and it's just kind of mentioned on this reunion. We then move on to Antoinette, and they discuss the feedback about Kayla. Latrice and Antoinette acting one way together, and then one way when Latrice is with Letitia. We see the footage of them talking together, Antoinette, Latrice, and Kayla, how it's negativity, talking about other ladies behind their backs, and then we see the clip of them being around other people and behaving totally different. And it's shade for shade. Marie says, they act like mean girls, and Tisha agrees. Tisha says, Antoinette she'll say one thing, but when Latrice gets around her, it kind of changes. Like, I just don't understand. And Marie says, yeah, I see that too. I just don't understand why there's this back and forth. And Antoinette says to Marie, that's Dr. Antoinette. Address me as Dr. Antoinette. Marie says, I don't have to address you as Dr. anything. Like, you are Marie. Like, you are Antoinette. I don't have to address you as Dr. anything. Like, what are you talking about? All I'm saying is that you guys speak one way and do something else. It's just kind of like gives the impression that you don't have a mind of your own. And Antoinette says, I opened up my practice during a pandemic, and I don't see how a woman that doesn't have a mind of her own could do that. And that's why that's why I didn't invite Marie and Tisha to my home when I had the, Sage and, event, because I don't know their energy. I don't know their intentions, and I didn't want them to bring that to my home. And Tisha clarifies that, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to bring anything negative to you. Like, I that's not the energy that I bring. Like, I don't understand that. And Tambra says, I want the best for all of them. I want the best for all of them. I just want all of them to just get along and just like squash all the pettiness. Tisha says, when the table is prepared, bring a fork, don't bring shade. And Latrice says, she cuts her off and says, you guys come with the shade. Tisha says, wait, let me finish, because I see now you bring different energy. Like, when Cliff is around, it's something else. But whenever Antoinette enters the room, now you turn into Mean Girls. Like, are you team Tisha or are you team straddle the fence? And Tisha says, well, I'm team me every day, all day. And Tisha says, I get that, but there's always a shift in energy. And you just need to know that you do that. The energy changes when Antoinette is around. It's like you just like, don't talk to me the same way. Like, please be the same person in my face as the same person behind my back. Like, you going back and forth, it just seems like it's just, I don't know. I don't appreciate it. Also, the beef that I have with Antoinette is that she flirts with my husband just like she does yours. And be who you are, Antoinette, in my face. And Antoinette is like, excuse me? Like, when was this? And Tisha says, well, an example that I can give is when we were at your sip and see. And, they had drinks and everything that they were passing out. And I'm just waiting in the car, waiting on Glenn. Like, where is he at? It was just like weird. And when he finally got in the car, it's like, where have you been? And Glenn was explaining to her that Antoinette was passing out drinks and, kind of holding hands and, kind of like trying to flirt with him. And, I just don't think that, that was cool. And Tisha says, well, when it happened with Cliff, like, there was a situation with Antoinette and Cliff. I asked Antoinette about it, and they were drunk, and I think words just got misconstrued. And Antoinette says it's not, what she thought. It was nothing like that. In no way, shape, or form was she trying to come at Cliff like that. And we straightened it out, and, that's just that. Tisha continues, it's just a different vibe when y'all are together, because Tisha, when me and you get on the phone, we vibe. We really vibe and really, really get along. But, over time, and then when you're with Antoinette, it's just something is different. It's totally different. So the reunion, unfortunately, comes to an end. And right when we're getting to the cusp of a lot of issues, that's the end. And Egypt wants to question everybody and what do they plan for the future and what are some endeavors they have in mind. Tisha says that she wants to keep on with her endeavor in revitalizing Ferris Street and her goals and continuing with her marriage and things just being better. Marie says that she wants to continue to remain focused and expand her business and just continue to provide for the community when it comes to mental health and just providing because she wants to give back. Tambra says that she wants to learn and eventually have babies and be on TV and just continue to grow her brand. She's learning a lot and she's just in that phase of learning how to just balance it all. Antoinette wants to expand and maybe there might be another Mint location, but she wants to continue to show people, especially at HBCUs, the steps in becoming a dentist or doctors and just mentoring as much as possible because we need more representation, especially in the medical field. Latrice says Goddess Lentz hair is going to expand. The good news is that they're in retail stores across the nation and she wants to see herself as the best and she wants to continue to be that way. They all bring out the champagne. They cheers to the ending of season 1, you guys. And that is the end of the reunion part 2, the conclusion. Woo! Woo, child, it's review time. Ooh, I don't know where to begin. It's just so merch to talk about. And yes, you did hear merch, like merchandise. I am from Texas, honey. And when we say merch, it's just too merch. For one, as I've said for Reunion 1, Egypt, the host, girl, I love you. Like I said, just tip my hat off to all of the things that you've done throughout your career. But when it came to this reunion, I honestly have like an idea that maybe you didn't watch the show. If you did watch the show, unfortunately, I feel like your sequencing and questioning and how you approach everything was kind of whack. I love you to death, but let me tell you why. Let me explain. Because upon each subject that you were discussing and that you were trying to get to the crust of, you kind of just scaved over it. Like, you got a baby on the way. Oh, that's okay. Well, great. I'm glad that you guys have moved on, and that's beautiful. Like, I understand you're trying to have that kumbaya. I know that you are all for empowerment and positive energy. I am the same way, okay? I am the same way. I want everybody to hold hands and skip into the sunset, and I want everybody to be happy. But when it comes to this reality show and things that have been released on television and we're looking at footage, we have to have those discussions. We can't just scave over and be like, oh, well, that happened, so yeah. Okay. There's so many examples, Egypt, that I can give you. For one, when you were speaking with Kaylin, and Kaylin is definitely pretty much what's the word? Said that she's pretty much had this process of defamation of character. And, she says, well, I just needed it for ammo because just in case Marie came for me. And you're like, oh, can we agree that, that wasn't wrong and we could just move on? Oh, no, honey. We need her to be accountable. She does not get a pass for that. I can understand that how some people would just call other people and be like, key, talking about other people. But when you go to a blog and you kicking up dust about somebody, just like Timber said, you are going purposely to bring somebody down. You weren't just talking, cackling with your friends like, girl, so that's what I had heard and child. You didn't do that. You maliciously and you purposely had an intent to whatever I find, or quote unquote what you know, which is probably information you've heard from the grapevine. You are, my friend, in this process of having a defamation. And I hope Marie puts aside a little coin to sue Kaylin, because honey boo boo, that is not cool, honey. You have destroyed somebody's business endeavor, somebody's livelihood. I say to Marie, I hope you sue, but I understand with health and Marie, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna save you. Egypt, we still on you. With all love and respect and critique, I think you did not do a good job for this reunion, because as people were talking about really in-depth things, you kind of scaved over it and just like, oh, that's great, we're gonna move on, and yay, okay, we're gonna move on to that. Like, no, you have to talk about those things, and they weren't really talked about. Each person talking about Tisha and Glenn and how there's this baby outside of the marriage. Oh, but that's great, you guys moved up. What? Like, can we talk about that when we talk to Cliff and Tisha about they're gonna have a baby? Oh, that's great. Oh, and then she said it real fast. Oh, we got the 16-year-old, you got 4 of the kids. We asked, like, oh, okay. She said that so fast. I was like, wait, what? Wait, who? You got what? Honey, boo boo. Like, we're under the impression as viewers that it's just her and Cliff. Like, what? Okay. Then again, I understand there might have been some speed bumps. Maybe there could have been some, hey, we're not going to discuss this on the show. I get that. Maybe, they signed some documents, everybody, and saying, hey, we can address it, but we can't go into depth. I understand that. In Egypt, maybe that's probably what happened. Maybe they say, hey, we can say I got a daughter, we can say I got some kids, but that's it. We're not going to go into that. I get that. But there are ways to talk about things without invading contracts and privacy and all this other stuff. Like, it just gives me the idea that you really didn't watch the show. Maybe you did like a little crash speed through kind of watch, like, I got this gig, they're gonna have me hosting this reunion, let me just watch these episodes real fast and get an idea. It just really gives me the feeling that you didn't watch these thoroughly. If you did watch them thoroughly, I just feel that the fluidity with the questions and all of the other stuff and the matters just were not fluid enough, and they just weren't giving. They weren't giving, honey. Okay, so let me go in order with these ladies. Once again, let me just say I must have to dust my shoulders off when it comes to season 1, because I have been 100% correct about everything. I called it from episode 1 that I said Latrice and Antoinette and Kaylon are very messy. And Antoinette and Kaylon being the ringleaders of taking just this satisfaction in talking about everyone. Antoinette said that eventually. We just talk trash about people and just, I'm like, okay, I've been saying that. And then also with put the cherry on the top, Antoinette and Kaylin would say one thing to people in front of their face. Like, I'll give you an example. Antoinette talked to Tisha at Tambra's birthday party. I keep bringing this up, saying that, we're going to make sure that all the ladies are talking. We're going to squash the beef between Marie and whatever's going on with Latrice. We're going to do all of that. Girl, I'm going to help you. Like, we saw all of that. And then when you got around other friends, you acted totally different. Crazy. Let me start with Marie. Marie, I hope you sue Kaylin for defamation of character. I hope that you sue, because when it comes to legal stuff, we getting it in black and white, what you did and how it was wrong. Like I said, it's not something I do, but people talk about other people and they key, okay? But when you start to talk to blogs, and she admitted on national television, well, I told Antoinette, then I told Latrice that I knew what she did. She said, I'm about to get her. I'm about to tell this blogger what I think I know, what I had heard, that she taking Fed money, and I'm going to go to this blogger, and I'm going to that lie of, I was getting ammo just in case she came for me. Well, if you knew what you already knew, which was she claimed, Kaylin, I already knew this information, then that was your ammo right there, which lets me know you just instigated yourself. You just lied. Sue. Now, if you don't sue, right, because everything will come to the light. People who wish ill intent, or people who do all of that stuff backfires and it comes back on them some way, shape, or form. So you can do the legal way, or you could just say, we're just going to let karma catch up, because karma does have everybody on the schedule. Okay? And karma is never late. It's always on time. It's just always there. And unfortunately with karma, sometimes we don't see other people's karma. It just, we done forgot about something, and child, they dealing with something on the other side of town. But I just really, really, really just hope you consider, either karma or going legal, because that right there and spreading information that's false, and the way that Egypt just said, so Kaylin, we can agree that it was wrong, and we just gonna skate over that, Egypt. We just gonna skip over that. Aww. People have arguments over all the time, and catty little bickering, stuff like that. But like Tambra said, when you go above and beyond to like bring somebody down and tear somebody down, which can destroy their livelihood, I have a problem with that. That's crazy. That's insane. Now, Marie, let's talk about your city, poo, your boo. I know that's your boo, girl. I know you love your man. Y'all got a child together. I am not a mother, and I can only imagine the bond and going through motherhood and having a child with somebody and wanting to stay with that person and not wanting, to be in separate houses, and not like, I can only imagine that you're thinking, I just want to keep this together, and you're conflicted because, there's still love there. You say you're dating somebody else, but it's just this back and forth of disrespect. I hope that you find that median and understanding that you are worthy of somebody better. One thing that I noticed about this series, this season, that we have these accomplished, beautiful black women who have done so much and broken so many barriers, but they all have that men are trash, honey. The men are trash, and I don't mean to I don't want to call somebody trash, but the actions of these men are reflections of traumas or things that have happened to these women growing up. Latrice wants a daddy. Now she got a zaddy who acting like a daddy. Tisha got a man who do her wrong and she's singing another sad love song back in the rain like crazy. Don't let me get on the Tony. Tamara's with somebody with a man who's with her for 16 years, but you want to get an embryo. No. Everybody's man has a connection with daddy issues, family issues, or insecurities. When I'm wrong, please stop me. We are not perfect. I get it. But these men that they're connected to, it's just, I'm just not feeling it. Like everybody needs to just scratch, just to start over. Just reset on the Nintendo and start over. It's really just getting to me. Oh, Marie, I love you, girl, but just do some reflection. No shade, no tea, honey. But I have nothing against any type of relationship. People live your life or something like that. If there's something deeper, I'm saying a big if, honey. If there's something different between, if there's something there between you and Essie, that's more than sisterhood, that's more than love, just check that out. Explore that, because that might be your soulmate for real, for real. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Because when you two are together, it seems like it's this calm and it's this understanding. If it's not, if there's no lesbian vibes, then ignore what I'm saying, okay? Move on, find somebody else. The person that you're getting to know, keep getting to know that person. And then, you with your homegirl, Essie, she find her another boo and y'all double date, okay? And y'all just kick it. As long as it's somebody positive in y'all life, that's all I want. Antoinette, dear, I'm having some tea. Do you want some? Let me pour you some tea, okay? It's hot. Antoinette, honey, dear, I am from Texas. I am aware of the pageant face, okay? And as what Iyanla would say, the nice nasty. You unfortunately exhibit the nice nasty. You can tell somebody have a good day, honey, but then your horns are showing. Please, I hope this isn't the real you, but unfortunately, I feel that this is the real you. Kaylin, you guys are a match made in, I don't know. You guys have exhibited, unfortunately, very toxic behavior. As I said in the reunion part 1, you are an amazing person when it comes to business. You have broken a lot of glass ceilings all over the place, but you and Kaylin are toxic. You are a hazard when it comes to being nice to people. I have a feeling that if I knew you, you would be like, oh, hey, girl, I love your makeup. And then you would go into another room and be like, say to somebody else, bitch, did you see her creases? Like, she's got some creases. Or did you see, I don't know, but you give me that vibe. You give me that vibe. Oh, that vibe. You giving me that. And girl, I love you. I just, it's just a lot, and you give me nice nasty. And I see you've perfected that. I've said the same thing over and over about you. Clifford. That's toxic as well. I mean, we see the way that you talk to Latrice and you have this empowering daddy vibe, but she picked you. Y'all chose each other. I said that earlier. So, Tisha, I'm worried and very concerned. Glenn is feeding off of the fact that he can get away with any and everything, and you'll take him back. The fact that you just said, oh, there is a baby. Yeah, from his affair. Yeah, I'm working it out. I'm on the couch I'm like Marie, like, what? How are you saying it's so cool? How are you so chill with this? Like, and you saying, oh, I just need to be with this man. And, if we get a divorce, I'll still need this man. Just want to throw my show. What? Tisha, dear, I just don't see how you're putting up with so much mess. Let me put this out there. Like, I've never been with someone that would do me wrong and they continue to do it over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm cool with that. We're all human, we make mistakes, but when it's just the over and over and over part, I have a problem with that. Because ladies, outside of this show, I'm talking to everybody listening to my voice. When it comes to that stuff, it's even deeper. Okay, it's even deeper than just an affair. We're talking about bringing more things outside in the world into your home. We're talking about AIDS. We're talking about HIV. We're talking about maybe a mistress or something that could come back and want to kill everybody. Do you understand where I'm going? It's just piling on and piling on. And we're not thinking about the mental health of the children. Oh, mommy and daddy, y'all are married. Oh, but daddy got another baby. That's just more stuff on more stuff on more stuff that we need counseling for and therapy. It just really pisses me off how Tisha is just like, oh, there is a baby and we're just, we're going to have a new wedding and we're going to start anew and we're going to... But there's a baby, not a 6-year-old, not a 10-year-old, not a child from an affair a long time ago. We talking about a fresh baby, okay? You know how people say, if you like it, I love it. Well, boo, you liking it, I don't. Okay? Yeah. And I think that's everybody. I think I talked about everybody, how I thought. Season 2, if there is one, I don't know if I don't know. I don't even know if I'm looking. I understand as a show, they might have scathed over a lot of stuff to keep it for the second season and we find out more information. Maybe we find out more information about Cliff and how they deal with his ex-wife and his children and that 16-year-old. Pretty sure they're going to have that on season 2. Pretty sure they're going to have Tisha and Glenn moving on with their marriage and we might see a wedding and then dealing with the new baby mama and the baby outside of the marriage. Pretty sure we're gonna see Marie and is she moving on with her life and Pretty sure we're gonna see Tamara and the embryo and dealing with the man that's been with her 16 years and uses it as an excuse that she was following her career not to be with her and have a child. But that outweighs the whole point of this show now. The whole point of this show is to show Black women in entrepreneurship and being the bestest with being the hostess with the mostest. This was a good attempt of a show. But the reunion and the fluidity is just trash. Highly recommend that old network Discovery. Somebody need to call me so I can just do these reunions. Okay. Same thing for Ready to Love, you guys. Ready to Love, it comes back on the air April 2nd. If you have not seen Ready to Love from the last season, make sure you click on that playlist because I predicted it from the beginning what would happen, and what happened at the end of the season happened. I was on point with everything. I'm gonna just dust my shoulder off to that because I was right about that too, and I was right about this season in Belle Collective. Was like I'm just could see the future, honey. Let me know what you thought. I'm drained. I'm just Lord. I'm drained. And I just hope that if they move on with this show, that Kaylin is gone. If I see Kaylin anywhere, mention, face, anything in season 2, I'm done. I will skirt on all of the reviews and recaps for the show. I will be done because she needs to just take the messy boots and go. Maybe they'll bring in some more women in this city that's just prospering all over the place and how they're, I don't know. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over and I don't have to see Kaylin anymore and I don't have to see the drama and I don't have to see the two faces of many people. Let me know what you thought. I wish them all the best. These women are phenomenal and I hope to see more of them doing something. So I don't know what that is, but let me know what you thought. Am I the only one that's frustrated with this reunion and feels like it's just a lot of holes and gaps and we really didn't get to the crust of everything? I hope that's not just me. Let me know what you thought. I know these ladies have, with reality show, many of them said, even Tisha, that, I didn't even want to be a part of this, reality show, but I was convinced to just go ahead and do it. And let's be empathetic and sympathetic for a while, you guys. When it comes to reality show, you are making that commitment to have your life filmed and displayed for all of the world to see. Reality shows can see our lives and we may think everything's fine, and then when other people assess it from the outside, they can just read you to just filth, okay? And also, first impressions are everything. And people can run with a first impression and not really get to know the real you and who you are. We only know the reality television side of a person, which is unfortunate. And once you make that lasting impression, it's kind of hard to go backwards. Some people feel a certain way about Marie. Some people feel a certain way about Antoinette. Some people feel, because of course with editing, we are only allowed to see so much. We are only able to analyze so much. And that's frustrating. I can see how that would be frustrating to a participant. And there may have been heartwarming moments. There might have been more sisterhood. But with reality shows, we just never know. We can only go off of what we see. That's why I keep saying I wish them all the best. And I hope that they're all successful in everything that they do. Because I'm only going off of what was edited and what was purged on television. It's just that certain situations, basing it on what I've just seen, I've had my certain feelings about it. Let's just all just try to remember that this show tried. This show made an attempt to kind of sway, just instead of just drama, showing successful Black women. And I just feel like it missed the mark a little bit, and it needs to decide the direction it wants to go. Is this gonna be drama with friends? Is this gonna be who's talking about me or whatever? Or is it going to be a positive showing a business endeavor? You know, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Y'all make sure to check out. Oh my goodness. Please make sure to check out that Derek Jackson video that I had did. Make sure you check that out, honey. And see my opinions on that. And just check out that playlist and all of the most recent posts that I've done. It's just a lot, honey. We got a lot coming. Stay tuned for Iyanla Fix My Life. It's the final 6 episodes. If you haven't seen the first 6, make sure you go to that playlist for Iyanla Fix My Life and catch up, because a lot of these will be part 2s for these final episodes. And the reason why it's the final episodes, because Iyanla did express that wasn't her ministry anymore, and she wanted to be one-on-one with people, and she felt like television maybe wasn't the best way to deliver her messages and her methods. But check that out, you guys. Leave your comments below. I can't wait to see your comments, and stay tuned for more next week. There's so much more. We got Queen Sugar, Delilah, which is in the playlist, Queen Sugar, which is in the playlist, and we have another season of Ready to Love, y'all. I'm on it. I'm on top of it, and you know I give you what you want. But at the same time, my friends, take care of yourself and each other. Amen.